So just pulled over to admire this field of Phacelia we've got here, and this is like, thank you, Mr. Farmer. At the end of every year, when the wheat or the winter wheat is harvested, they often sow a cover crop, and this time they've sown Phacelia. It's basically a marvelous crop because it really helps clean up the soil, helps clean up nitrates and stuff like that, and also helps the roots give the soil some goodness. And often it doesn't produce much, but this time this one has. You can see behind me that in the previous videos, the previous pictures I should say, that it's flowering. Now the problem is it's really dry, but this is actually a very low-lying area, and just over sort of that way, I don't know if you can see, sort of just right behind my truck, I've got one of my best apiaries there, and it's in a very low-lying area too. So this is like the bonus that we don't always get. We've also got other fields that have got sown, which is buckwheat, and we've also got mustard, which is the yellow stuff. It always gets confused with oilseed rape this time of year, and very often on the forums people say, oh, we've got oilseed rape coming out in blah blah blah, but it's not. It's actually mustard, or charlock was the other name. So we've got basically three types. So as well as that, we've got the ivy. So unfortunately it's dry, but there's a heck of a lot of pollen out there, and there is some nectar. So any rain we have, because this is very shallow soil and the roots are only shallow in the surface, any rain we have does immediately give a nectar flow. So as long as we get rain in the next sort of 2 to 3 weeks, which we're pretty likely to, we should see more of a nectar flow. But we got the ivy, and the ivy does have deep roots, so fingers crossed. But anyway, what a beautiful evening to see all that, and just to have that free for your bees. And also the green manure is doing a lot of good for the environment. It's feeding all the wild bees, all the bumblebees, all the solitary bees. And unfortunately farmers don't plant enough of this, but sometimes you just get lucky and they do plant one by your bees. Have a good evening.